Hey guys, welcome back. Today is not a regular review, something a little unorthodox today. I'm not reviewing a train from a train manufacturer that we know of or a train manufacturer that makes operating engines. These are Diecast Masters SD70ACe Tier 4 locomotives. They are completely static, but I want to take a look at these. The price is $64.99. My main question out of this review is what kind of detail do they have, and can they be run as dummy models? We're going to find out as we open the box next, so let's take a look at what you get from Diecast Masters, starting right now. First thing you're going to notice is you have a seal to break. It's a Diecast Master seal. I've broken it on this box here ahead of time. Let's go ahead and get this out. This is the progress rail, schemed locomotives. And we're going to break the seal on this one, and I'll open this as well. But this will be the one that we unbox, so I can show you what exactly you're getting here. Now this is going to be from the perspective, obviously, of a model railroader. So you've got a Caterpillar scale model replicas collection in here from Diecast Masters. That includes a lot of different cat equipment. Looks pretty good. If it's 1/87th, you could probably use it on your railroad there. This looks like it comes in a case. Oh, it's actually wrapped in plastic. I'm going to bust into this plastic here and then we'll open this up. Okay, first bit of good news. One, it comes with a display case and it's on display track. It looks like molded plastic. Well, maybe even a little higher grade material than that. But the second bit of good news is it's accessible, because from the early videos I saw online, I was beginning to wonder if it was accessible. You have two screws on the bottom. I'm going to take a break and get those screws off. Alright, so what you got when you free it from the roadbed is two screws, connect this bracket, and then bam, you've got the locomotive. The wheels do roll, so there's a chance these could operate, although the trucks are a little stiff, so navigating curves is probably going to be a problem. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the detail like we would with a regular locomotive and move on. Okay, so dealing with just Diecast, it's very hard to judge this company based on modeling specifics, as picky as we modelers are. I did wonder if the sand filler hatches were a little high, but I looked at some prototype photos and they're not. So that's good. Handrails kind of point outwards a bit. Not horribly done. Thicker than what would be done on a model for trains. Same with windshield wipers, but again, this is a Diecast model. It's not meant to appease us modelers. So I would say it's well executed for its purpose. Kind of a thick glaze on the model, again probably because Diecast and not plastic, and the fact that they kind of put a shine to it. There's definitely a gloss finish. You've got handrails are very, very durable because they too are Diecast, and I believe they could probably be bent, yep, slightly bent back into place, even though they're kind of out a little bit. Kind of looking at the detail of a regular model, you can see the distinctions between the compartments better, but again, Diecast, so not much to be expected there. You do have a horn, you've got PTC antennas, radiator fan exhausts, fans and exhaust. You've got regular exhaust up here, all the compartments on the side. Separately applied handrails, even though they are very large, where headlights would be, although not operational. Brake wheel, oversized for modeling specifics again, but it's a decent representation, you know, for modelers if you want to do it that way. Excellent model for having it on your desk or whatever. Here's a little closer look at the roadbed. It is indeed plastic for the display case. So, you know, a nice model for $64.99. That's the other thing to consider in all this. Our models cost, even DC, you know, over $100. This is $64.99. I unboxed the other variation of this. Again, they're both EMD Progress Rail locomotives, but this locomotive kind of gives me an idea a little better of some of the features and whether they're supposed to be there or not. One prominently missing piece is the snowplow. I didn't know if that was a one-off thing or if that was the case, and it looks like it was the case that the locomotives here do not have the snowplow. So we'll kind of zoom in so you can get the full view of this. Yes, you've got oversized parts, you've got handrails bent, but again, all die-cast and not really intended for the modeling world. You do have cab interior, and you've got a beautiful reflective or kind of a metallic paint on this blue version of the Progress Rail locomotive. So it is something that could be representative of a Tier 4 ACE for your railroad. So, and if you're really feeling froggy, you could, you know, deco these into, I don't know how die-cast works for painting, but you know, if somebody who's really skilled, they could probably turn these into UP and BNSF if they wanted to go nuts, but it's a lot of work. So that's it for looking at the models in detail. Let's see if they can operate with locomotives, and let's see what they weigh. All right, we're going to power on the scale here. So 1.25 pounds, so 1 1/4 pounds, that's 1 pound 4 ounces. 20 ounces total, or 565 grams, 0.565 kilograms. So there you have it. Fairly heavy locomotive, so you're going to want a decent puller. Kind of another question I had for this review was, does it sit on HO scale track? And it does. And what is the coupler height like? So I've got a locomotive here from Walters that gauged correctly. We're just going to back this thing up, and I'm kind of out of view here, so I'll go into view. And as you can see, the coupler, just like the NMRA gauge showed me, I just want to check a regular locomotive, is a little bit low. Now, will it actually couple is the other question, and for this one, that is a negative, but these are Protomax couplers from Walters. I think that's what they're called, and they are slightly oversized. Next test is with a smaller coupler, which here is a McHenry coupler and an Athearn locomotive, although the coupler height is off. As you can see, I was able to successfully couple the locomotive to the die-cast locomotive. And here's a little close-up of the coupler height differences. It is definitely low for NMRA standards, but that is not the point of this company, so it's just whether or not we could use these as static models that I'm interested in right now. Now, those of you that are very smart, and maybe just even slightly smart, because I'm not so smart, will probably have figured out what I just ran into. I went to test whether the BLI locomotive, which I did get to successfully couple, would actually run and pull this locomotive and it could navigate curves. Turned on my DC system, and guess what I got? A short, because the wheels are metal and there are no insulators or anything of any sort. So if you want to get this to work, you're going to have to find a way to isolate the wheels from the die-cast trucks to keep it from shorting out. Now, with that said, I'm still going to push this along towards the back end of my layout and see if it can navigate curves on screen. Then we're going to call the review a done deal. Alright, we got my back curves here. I'm going to go ahead and run this. Looks like we already started to have a derail into the curve. I'm going to go ahead and try to run this into the curve again. Yep. So these are not going to also navigate curves, and this outer curve is 30 inches, which I would consider fairly large in model railroading terms. So again, no navigation of curves because of the stiffness of the wheel or the trucks. Again, for those who can find a way to make it work, you would have to find a way to really loosen those trucks, but it seems like just their weight and bulk is what's causing the problem more than just their pivot point. So that kind of wraps up all my tests and answers all my questions. So those of you who are thinking about heavy modification, I do want to show you the bottoms. There is no adjustment screw like on models. for the tightness of the truck. It looks like you would require some disassembly. These two screws, I believe, actually pull off a panel on the trucks and release the wheels. The wheels are not anything of model railroading standards, but they are the correct gauge, surprisingly, so I did have hopes before I realized that I was being an idiot and didn't know that they would short out. Also, in addition to that, you've got the fact that the couplers here are very low. It doesn't look like there's any way to adjust them, even though they do move fairly freely, but this wheel is very hard to turn, and like I said, the shorting issue is going to be a hard modification to do, but you know, I never call short some of the people out there. They never fail to amaze me. I'm sure there's a way to do it, just not up my alley or up most modelers' alleys. Alright, let's wrap this review up. You were a cute locomotive. You would have been great for my layout. Why didn't you play with the other kids nicely? Oh, hey guys, I didn't know this thing was on here, but this was a great locomotive. I had a lot of hopes for it in terms of little operation, but you know, that fell apart on the turn radius and the shorting problem, but that's not what the company made these for. The company made these for display, and that, they do a very good job for not being a model train company. You've got even some slight see-through detail on these radiator grills, not on the back grill, but for $64.99, this looks good on any desk or any wall, and I think they're pretty cool looking. And great metallic paint on this blue one. Yellow cat is nice as well. But that's about it. I'm not going to leave you with a run by because I don't want to short out my layout forever and push things along. But that's it for this review, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.